YouTube, what's going on, guys? Patch here. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. Guys, today I want to share with you guys a price prediction for Bitcoin that I think you guys are really going to like. Now, this price prediction is built off of the last bull run's price trends. Now, this bull run, we've seen a lot more institutional investors, a lot more people getting in, a lot more hype in mainstream media coming into this. So there's a chance this one could be even bigger than the last one. So I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. I think it's a very possible scenario for Bitcoin. I think it's a very possible price target for Bitcoin. I can't wait to share. We're also going to be looking at Ethereum Cardano, so updates there, what they're looking like, when we should be buying, when we should be selling, and all that good stuff. Now, before we get into it, I will say, guys, I'm sorry for not uploading the last few days. I was shopping for things for the wedding. Now, if you guys have been through the process, you know there's a lot to go over. I'm pretty bad at making decisions, and there's a lot of decisions that need to be made. So with that being said, it's taken up a good amount of time, but it is fun, but it is taken away from, potentially making some videos. So I apologize. We're not going to let that slack. We're not going to slack off anymore. The videos are going to be back. Now, recently, obviously, we had Bitcoin do this. This was a pretty shitty time in the market. It was a time that I still open my portfolio every morning, and it sucked. I realized every day I was a little bit poor. And we just kept on playing that game until March 1st, the 1st of March. Thank God we came in and we started to have some green candles. Now, the last few days, we've been able to pile up a few green candles, all ranging around like 3, 4, 5%, maybe 6% gain every single day. Now, these are the days I like, because every day I still wake up, I still look at my portfolio, but this time we're making money while we sleep. And that's exactly what I want to see happen. Now, each of these candles, like I said, could be anywhere from like 3 to 4%. If you are using one of the exchanges that I use, for example, Bybit is my go-to exchange for leverage trading. Put on a 10x leverage for that. Every time I talk about percentage, put on a 10x leverage. That 4 becomes a 40. This whole thing becomes, when it goes from like 15% to 150% on your money in just 4 days time. So if you guys want to check out the exchanges I'm using it, all those are going to be linked down below when it comes to Binance, Bybit, Webull. Each of them gives you bonuses for signing up. So on some of them, you can get a free stock. On other ones, they give you free money. If you deposit a certain amount, they'll give you free money. You can trade with that money, and any profit that you make is free for you to take out. It's basically a free trade. So extremely, highly recommend using the exchanges that the top traders are using. Now, this is another pattern we've been talking about. This played out really nicely for us because it pretty much timed the bottom when we hit the support over here on the RSI. Now, since then, obviously, we've been climbing. One thing to watch out for is going to be this resistance. And another thing that would be very interesting is to see if the RSI would be making a lower high and the price make a higher high. That'd be something to watch out for as well, because that's something we saw happen here where price made a higher high, RSI made a lower high, which was obviously a bearish divergence, right? It was bearish short-term-ish where we had this massive drop before having this next run to the upside. Watch out for that. Again, that's not a bad scenario to play out at all. Potentially bounce here, bounce again. Something to watch out for as we consolidate in the RSI. Now, the most interesting thing here when it comes to the price prediction for Bitcoin, actually, we'll do that in just a sec. The 4-hour time frame. Also, watch out for this trend line on the RSI. We've bounced multiple times. We now, after this, had a bigger bounce to the upside. We're now trading a little bit at the higher range. The 4-hour is a little bit above the EMA ribbon. Wouldn't be surprised to see at some point a cool off to retest the EMA ribbon before we continue on that upside trend. But like I said, let's go into this Bitcoin price prediction, the price target. Before we talk about Ethereum, before we talk about Cardano, which is all going to be interesting, let's go into the Bitcoin situation. This starts off with Bitcoin in 2017 when we were having the last bull run. Remember, no institutional investors, no Elon Musk, none of that was going, at least not publicly, not that we know of. Now, Bitcoin had a first pullback over here. This was around a 40% pullback during a bull run, 40% pullback. It went from just under 3K to around $1,700. Most people would probably panic. Most people did panic. I can't remember. I mean, I was definitely in the market at this time, but I can assume, thankfully I didn't, that most people panicked during this situation, just like what we saw happen with the weaker hands, the paper hands, let's call them, when it comes to the bull run that we're in right now. Now, after that, Bitcoin had this pullback of around 40 to 39% as well, right? A little bit smaller than the last one, but still a pretty big pullback going from 5K to 3K. And you can imagine a lot of people panicked. We then had another one over here, which was much less at 30% of a drop, where Bitcoin went from 7,900 down to 5,500. This was all during the extreme parabolic bull run that we had. Now, we've seen around two of these. We've seen around this, right? As of right now, if we are playing, looking at the price action previously to what we have now, we've seen around two of these bigger pullbacks. Now, of course, they're not 40%. We can expect as the price gets, higher and higher, we're not going to have, and more people are in, the volatility will decrease a little bit to the point where we're not going to have the exact same percentages moved. So 40% might be 30% now. Keep that in mind. But with this second pullback, after that, we went up 500, let's just say 550% since that pullback. Again, a reason why you want to be accumulating at these lower points and not selling at these lower points like the paper hands are doing that we were talking about. Now, if we fast forward to the price chart that we have right here, if we start zooming in, you can see we haven't had many pullbacks since the start of the bull run. We've had two, right? We've had two bigger pullbacks. One of them, if we open this, is around 30%. And the other one, if we open this, was just under 30%. So remember, we saw 40% before. Now, with a little bit less volatility, numbers-wise, we could see Bitcoin drop from, no, the number difference is going to be much bigger because we're at a much higher price. But the percentages, since so many more people are in, usually we see that mean that the volatility does decrease. Now, we had a 30%, we had a 20-something%. We saw there was a third one that came in later, which we can expect. And at this point, if you're in the market, probably we're bound to have another one of these pullbacks at some point, maybe sooner rather than later, maybe later rather than sooner, who knows? But at some point during this bull run, we're probably going to have another one of these big 20, 25, 30% pullbacks. But remember the 550%, because, this might take a while. We're going to start zooming up. We're at 179. We're going to keep going. 275, okay. 330. Even if we were to just go to 400, so we don't have the exact same percentages because more people in, less volatility. Let's just call it that. Bitcoin's currently then at $216,000. If we do go to 550%, which we're almost there, just a little bit more, 500 and let's say 550 over here, that is a $280,000 Bitcoin. I'm probably sat on an island. I shipped my Lambo over to the island. We're living big. We're chilling. $280,000 Bitcoin, and I don't think that's unrealistic whatsoever, given that we've seen so many institutional investors come in. We've seen so much big money come in. We've seen people lose faith in the dollar, in government-backed currencies. We've seen the inflation come in different countries. In a majority of countries, we've seen this inflation come in. People are turning their eye to Bitcoin. And something I've said since 2017, you are not going to get your grandfather into crypto. Not only are you not going to probably get it, but that's not the target audience. The target audience for crypto isn't your grandfather. Unfortunately, mine too, that's not the target audience. The target audience for Bitcoin is the younger, for crypto in general, is the younger generation. Go try to, it was difficult to describe Bitcoin to your grandparents. Go try to describe an NFT and how much money people are paying for an NFT to grandparents. Not worth it. Not worth it. You want the younger generation coming up, as more and more of them are getting to the age where, they're looking at their finances, they're looking at investments. The more that continues to happen, we're getting more and more people in that age range coming in, understanding, growing up with Bitcoin being a thing. That's extremely, extremely bullish. And then, just for fun, let's say Bitcoin does go up here. When we expect that major pullback, we could probably get that pullback to 100K. And the craziest thing is that Bitcoin could go from 280K to 100K, and people will complain about the $100,000 Bitcoin. Right now, most people would be ecstatic about it. That's just how the market works. Can't say too much about it. It's the game that we play. This market is extremely volatile, so it spoils a lot of people very, very fast. Now, Ethereum never turned bearish whatsoever. Look at the beauty of this. We just came in. We touched the bottom of the EMA ribbon. We're now having a bounce. This candle looks very similar to the one that Bitcoin had a few hours earlier, where Bitcoin, had the drop, had a wick come in, and now Bitcoin's already flipped to the green. So we already have a green candle up here with this wick to the downside. Ethereum hasn't had that happen yet. Maybe we're going to see, obviously still very early, still a lot to happen during the day. The 4 hour for Ethereum, again, just turned bullish, bounced again from here. Next few candles on the way up. The RSI is still trending upwards. Things are looking decent for Ethereum to scale. Obviously, pullbacks here and there, the short term, we get it. But finally back on track, let's say, for Ethereum. And Vitalik thinks that Ethereum could scale 100x in just a few months. According to him, layer 2 roll-up solutions could scale Ethereum's network by a factor of 100 in the next few months. Watch out for that as well. Obviously, if you guys want to see every one of the trades that I'm in, my expert team is in real time. We do not buy things before we post them. We don't buy things before we tell you. We're not trying to pump our bags and sell off to you like a lot of people in this space are doing. That's not our game plan. The game plan is a small group, a small community, the number one community in this space. All we're doing is once we identify a trade, we post it, then we enter it. We do it at the same time. It's basically as simple as that. So you'll get access to every one of our altcoin trades, every one of our leverage trades, the number one community in the space. Like I said, it is free for 14 days. So for 2 weeks after you sign up, you'll see everything for free, risk-free. We're not hiding anything from you. We're pulling back the curtain, showing you what it's like to behind the scenes of real successful traders. If you don't like it, if it doesn't work for you, you can cancel. You'll avoid getting charged. It's as simple as that. But please don't fall for all these people online who all they do is show a couple of trades when it's successful, hide all of the unsuccessful trades from you. I know it looks pretty. I know it looks pretty to have one 100x leverage trade that worked and you're up 10 Bitcoin. But for that one trade, how many of them went wrong? It's never shown. Nobody ever talks about it. The good thing about the group, you see all the ones we win. You see all the ones we lose. Now, Cardano is one I wanted to highlight. We talked about it previously. I could tell there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of people excited about Cardano for good reason. There's still a lot to come out. So I wanted to update a little bit on what the situation was. From this, we had the breakout pattern. Breakout pattern over here. We then had the break to the downside, down to the support perfectly that we had talked about previously in the video. Now, what we see happening is a continued bounce and just kind of trading next to the trend line that we've had, this support area that we've had. We've traded. Now, if you did get into Cardano here, if you watched for the breakout, broke to the downside, you picked up Cardano here, you are already at a profit when it went from, just over $1, now up to $1.17. You're already killing it. You're already doing well. However, watch us maintain this and then have those next moves up, similar to what we saw happen here. Traded here, saw that spike, traded here, saw the spike, traded here. I would not be surprised if we had another spike to the upside. Again, targeting probably that $1.5, $1.6 range, as long as altcoins get their time, as long as Bitcoin lets altcoins have their move. The big worry for Cardano here would be the break here. If this happens, again, it would turn bearish in the short term. You probably want to look at your position if you're a short-term trader. If it breaks down this way, you probably want to look to rebuy at a lower level. But when that happens, if that happens, then we can adapt. Now, this is really cool as well. Polkadot, right? Polkadot, we don't talk about it much on the channel. It's at a $35 billion market cap. It's only like $3 billion away from passing Tether and Cardano in becoming the 4th biggest cryptocurrency in terms of market cap. Pretty big news. And Twitter purge, major crypto accounts suspended. And also Crypto got his YouTube channel removed. I saw that happen. I saw him post about it. His career basically up to like 300K subscribers, completely wiped out. Thankfully, reached out to YouTube, was able to get it back. But watch out for this stuff. We saw this happen previously. It's not the first time, will not be the last time. Some big Twitter names getting blocked, getting their accounts suspended off of Twitter. Potentially suppression, potentially censorship. Who knows exactly what it is? It's fishy. That's pretty much all I'm going to say. Hopefully it doesn't happen to my accounts. If my accounts vanish, now you know why, right? But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget, leave a thumbs up. Let me know how the audio sounds with the new mic again. It's incredible. This is like that fancy mic. So let me know what you guys think, what the audio sounds like in the comments down below. I'll see you guys on Friday for another video.